Hey, welcome to Hooper's Radar, everybody. Today will be a different type of live stream and video. Today we'll be discussing 2023 NBA free agency news, and I have a special guest. Today will be a today I'm gonna have a special guest also coming on. So with that said, let's get straight into it. So to get more into things, I'm gonna bring in on a special guest to cover free agency with me. I'll be bringing in a very special guest. He comes from Player's Choice. He's worked over with Fluent and Chill over there and Playmaker Haley. He goes by Shake and Bake Sebastian, and I'm gonna add him right now. Let me send him the link in the chat so you can join. So yeah, guys, a lot of things have happened in NBA free agency as of late. I want to cover some of those things, and obviously day 3 and 4 have been very slow compared to day 1 and day 2, where we saw a lot of big trades like Dylan Brooks, Fred VanVleet happen. Damian Lillard's trade request is also pretty big. Dante DiVincenzo to the Knicks, Bruce Brown to the Pacers. You get the point. A lot of bigger trades happen in day 1 and day 2. Day 3 and day 4 have been much more of a slower grind, for sure. All right. So, just waiting for our special guest to join. I can introduce him. This is my first time doing this, by the way, so nobody get on me. This really is my first time doing this. But yeah, I just want to introduce him first before I get into all the details and everything. All right, guys, so I'll be bringing on my special guest, Sebastian from Player's Choice.
Hello,
Sebastian.
HR. How's everything?
Everything's good, Sebastian. So I just wanted to introduce you. Obviously, you've done some content with Player's Choice before with Fluent and Chill. You've been on there for how many months, you would say?
It's been since March, so it's been around like 4 months.
Wow, so 4 months with them. You don't have an official job there yet, right? But you are working with them at the same time.
That's correct, yes.
All right, so tell me a couple of things about yourself, Sebastian, before we get into it. Like, what is your favorite sport? Why'd you get into basketball? All that.
I'd say basketball's been pretty much a big part of my life since like the past like 10 years. I started watching when I was 13, but I didn't really play basketball. Mostly it was baseball, but I just loved watching it, and yeah, it's been a huge part of my life ever since.
It's nice to hear. So growing up, what was the main sport that you played?
Actually, I played baseball most of my life up until my varsity year in high school.
So I would say you not only know knowledge about basketball because I've seen your videos of Player's Choice, but you probably have a hidden talent in the knowledge of baseball.
Yeah, I mean, since I was the age of 3 years old, I played until I was 19. Not only that, but I actually worked with these people. This place called All Star Hitting, and yeah, they taught me a lot of stuff.
It's great to hear. It's great to hear. So, with free agency happening as of late, I want you to give me a couple of your takeaways. What has been the most notable things that have happened in free agency to you that have affected you, your team, and you?
Wow. I'm a Warriors fan, by the way. I mean, signing Draymond was probably the most pivotal part of our team's like keeping our thing going. So I would have to say Draymond being extended.
Draymond being extended is definitely big. Do you believe that he deserves $25 million a year?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think so. He's contributed so much over the past 8 years, and yeah, he's earned it.
You're right. He's contributed a lot. He's also contributed to dealing brain damage to Jordan Poole, but we're not going to get into that one. But how do you feel about the Chris Paul acquisition? Think that makes your team better, stay the same, worse?
It's a really difficult question because I mean we haven't really seen him play. We know he's injury prone. I mean, we don't even know if he's a good fit on the Warriors. I mean, we've had a little collide against both us and Chris for a while now. It's a big rivalry, so it's going to be interesting, but I don't think it's going to work out.
I see. You think he should be starting, coming off the bench?
Definitely off the bench. I think our starting five is great right now as it is. He could definitely, teach our second unit a lot of different things and, just be a leader for them. So, yeah, I would like him off the bench.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think Chris Paul should come off the bench for them as well. So, going into that, you guys have also lost Dante DiVincenzo now in free agency. Big piece, defensive off the bench. How do you feel about that one? Do you think Chris Paul can make that up? And
certainly hurts losing Dante. I mean, he had such a great year last season. I was excited to get him from Milwaukee. I mean, geez, he even showed up in the playoffs. But yeah, I think Chris can help out there for sure.
I definitely do want to speak on an underrated piece you guys got on the draft. I do like Brandon Pokuševski from Santa Clara. I think he averaged like 20 points, 7 rebounds, even though he's not that big of a guard, and like 4 assists. And I like him. I think he's going to be like the cheap Jordan Poole replacement, hopefully. I think that's what the Warriors office looks to do. But I don't understand the Corey Joseph signing.
Me neither. Corey Joseph, I think he's like 31, 32 years old now. I mean, I remember him in 2014 when he was with the Spurs beating Miami, but I don't know if he's got the intangibles yet already in this part of his career. I don't know.
Yeah, Corey Joseph's 31.
31. Yeah.
It feels like one of those signings that NBA teams do just to sign some player, some vet. It feels like one of those whatever signings.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the right move, honestly. I'm hoping Mike gets a center in one of these couple weeks because we really need one.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's not a lot of options left, not a lot of free agents left on the market, but I think the Warriors have at least done some decent job of making things interested coming into this new season. It could be much worse. You could be the Philadelphia 76ers front office and lose everybody. So it could be much worse.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I guess you could look at it that way.
Yeah, so just wanted to put it out right now for anybody watching. I will be dropping a video on that soon. I think the process is coming to an end.
I think it's been to an end the last, 3 years?
Yeah.
Ever since they lost to Toronto, I'd say.
Yeah, the process has been on the downfall, but I don't know if you've noticed, Georges Niang has left, Shake Milton has left, James Harden is requesting a trade. It's basically, Tobias Harris wants more touches now, so I don't know.
Maybe we'll get that James Harden role. I don't know.
Could be an interesting Philadelphia 76ers team this year.
Yeah.
What do you, I know with the Dame Lillard trade request as of late, where do you think he's going?
I gotta say, my hometown team, Miami. Bring him to Miami. Get Dame in Miami. Now, I don't know what Miami's gonna be giving up, but just hopefully it's not Jimmy or Bam. Get rid of Caleb, Tyler, maybe even Duncan, but just keep those other two.
Yeah, I have an interesting take because obviously Miami is his preferred destination. Brooklyn is the close second behind Miami, but I think for some reason, because I've heard just rumors on Twitter that they have to get a third partner involved because obviously Miami doesn't have that much assets left. They let go of Strus and what's his name? They let go of
Gabe Vincent.
Yeah, that's Strus and Gabe Vincent. Brooklyn might be able to take Dame from Miami. They do have a lot more assets to give up.
Does Dame want to go to Brooklyn though? That's the question.
I think if he goes to Brooklyn, that'd be an interesting playoff team, but not a contender. Miami is a contender with Dame or without him. So
the way I look at it, if Dame was to end up in Brooklyn and be like the same thing he's got in Portland, I mean, right?
I mean, it'd be similar, but I gotta disagree with that one because Brooklyn defensively will give him a lot more support than Portland ever has. You got Nick Claxton in that front court. You got Mikal Bridges. Cameron Johnson is nice. I think the defense can hold Dame Lillard better than anything he's had in Portland. But you could say the same thing for Miami with Jimmy Butler and Bam. Also defensively, they're all NBA guys over there defensively.
They were almost in the finals 3 of the last 4 years if it's not for one shot that Jimmy misses. But yeah.
Exactly. So I do like the Dame to Miami more, but I would not be surprised if Brooklyn manages to just interest Portland's front office with more assets. What I do like,
If
though, is that Miami Heat does have the most talented asset between them and Brooklyn. Tyler Hero is definitely the most intriguing player on the table, but Brooklyn has more pieces.
depth, yeah, they
Yeah,
have a bigger depth. Yeah,
but Miami Heat does have the more interesting trade piece. But Tyler Hero would
yeah.
definitely be a weird fit in Portland. I don't know if I'd want to see that.
That'll be weird. Yeah,
Yeah,
Scoot and yeah, I don't know.
yeah, Scoot, Sharp, and Anthony. Like,
Yeah,
what happens? Do you direct Anthony to Brooklyn? Like,
maybe I don't know.
that would definitely be weird though. But yeah, I want to see where Dame ends up. Portland's definitely taking their time with this because if not, we would have already heard something the moment Lillard requested a trade. I think they're trying to get as many assets as possible.
Yeah, they're just waiting for the best deal to come up. I mean, Portland's in control of this.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to look like a Bradley Beal trade where there was the no trade clause and Beal forced himself into Phoenix for two PS5s and a hamburger. But
Yeah.
so Sebastian, tell me about how you became a Warriors fan.
All right, this is really interesting. So, you know, I'm from Miami, and the summer of 2014, LeBron decides to go back to the city who had been burning his jersey for the past 4 years since he had first left. And, you know, as a Miami native, that just hurts. I mean, like, how are you going to do that? Especially after you say you're going to win all these championships with us. So he goes to Cleveland. He dominates the East all the way into the playoffs up until the finals. And, you know, I see this kid, Stephen Curry, MVP, 26-year-old. And I'm there rooting for him, and they pulled it out and they beat LeBron. I mean, what's there not to like about Golden State? And I rooted for them since that. Yeah.
They've definitely put like a very big stone throughout LeBron's pathway to greatness in his career. Without the Warriors being in the way of LeBron, LeBron could have possibly won a couple more championships.
Easily get to 6, yeah.
Yeah, you know, we've always spoken about the LeBron stopper and all that, but I think the Warriors have been that franchise that have put in a stop on LeBron at some point in his career.
The biggest obstacle in his career, without a doubt. And much respect to LeBron.
Now, I know Warriors fan gets hot about this topic right here, so let me ask you a question. Do you think the Warriors would have won 2 rings without Kevin Durant?
Look, this has been a very controversial topic, and people have asked me all the time, and this is how I look at it, all right? Yeah, in 2015, LeBron had Kyrie and Love injured, right? The very next season, we were up 3-1, and we blew it, and Draymond got suspended. If Draymond doesn't get suspended, I mean, we might win that series, in all honesty. But in the next 2 seasons, 2017, I could see another 7-game series. It could go either way. 2018, I could say without KD, we can definitely win that series. 2017, it's a toss-up, though.
That's if I'm not mistaken, was that the Toronto Raptors one?
Which one?
Toronto Raptors was the 2019-20, right? Finals?
Yeah, 2018, 2019. That was the 2019 finals, and then 2017 was the one where Kyrie was still on the Cavs, and we beat them in 5.
I think you guys would have won 1 ring without KD. I think you guys need KD to at least win the other one.
Yeah, if anything, the Cavs would win the 2017 one, and then we would win the 2018 one, since Kyrie left Cleveland. I mean, maybe Kyrie doesn't leave because they would have gone back to back. I mean, we never know. These are all hypotheticals, but
yeah, it's true, man. Yeah, I don't understand how these Mavericks fans. They're excited about keeping Kyrie. They don't understand Kyrie's gonna have 6 months with that team and then request a trade. He just wanted the money,
as he always does. Yeah. I don't know what's up with Kyrie, man. He's not happy anywhere he goes. I don't get it.
Yeah, he's not. He's a journeyman. He is a selective journeyman. He chooses to go from team to team.
Across the flat earth.
Yeah, across the flat earth. All right, so with that said, obviously I would have loved to make this more of an interview about you, but I'll eventually have Sebastian on for his own episode if I start up a podcast in the future. I want to get into some free agency moves that have happened and just talk about that. but I do want to give a quick,
course.
not the quickest, but a pretty modern introduction to who I'm having on the show. I hit him up through Twitter or Instagram, I believe, to have him come on just to discuss a couple of sports with him, because I know he is a very informative guy from Player's Choice. So let me pull up my Twitter screen here. All right, are you able to see this?
Yeah, I can see.
All right, so obviously not much has happened today. That's why I might be the only one streaming this right now, but I just want to go back real quick. I'm going to go through Woj's page to ask you what you think about a couple of these moves. All right, so your Warriors team did go up against the Sacramento Kings, and we're not going to lie for a moment. Domantas Sabonis definitely underperformed in that series. Do you think he deserves 5 years, $217 million?
Maybe a little bit too much, but I mean, look at what Domantas did for Sacramento in the regular season. I mean, he was arguably their best player. You could even say better than Fox. But
yeah, it's very
maybe he
true.
just had a bad postseason. Yeah.
He was incredibly productive during the regular season. I got to agree with you on that. But he did come up short when it mattered most, and Fox did definitely outshine him in the playoffs.
Yes, absolutely. I agree 100%.
But obviously in a small market that Sacramento is, as much as it is in California, it is a small market, small city. Oftentimes when you acquire players you give up a lot for, you do have to overpay them to keep them in these small markets, and I think that's the reason why they gave Sabonis his large contract.
Yes.
But this is a top 5 center in the league. He did average 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 7 assists in the regular season, and you can't make up that production very often with other big men in the league. That is definitely up there with Jokic.
Yeah.
So on to the next trade besides this contract. Wanted to ask you, do you want to touch on this?
Why not? Sure.
How do you feel about Dante DiVincenzo reuniting with the Villanova trio?
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm appreciative of what Dante was able to do for us last season. You know what? I'm happy for him. He gets to go with his friends again. He gets to play with them. I mean, best of luck with him in New York, but it hurts. It was huge.
Yeah, for sure. I like this move for the Knicks. I feel like the Knicks have made a couple small moves this offseason to get the guys they want. Obviously, no star player, but if they did want to sign a star player, I believe they could do it. They have enough assets to. They bring in Dante DiVincenzo, who already has chemistry with Brunson and Josh Hart from college days. Josh Hart proved to be a great fit next to Brunson these playoffs, and during the regular season, they even slid him into that starting spot during the playoffs, and he was a great fit. So, and you're bringing in another good shooter, another defensive-minded type of guard, just like Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo, who can play bigger than he is at that small forward spot. And I like this fit. I think this gives them more toughness, defense, more veteran presence, I guess. I like this for New York for sure.
Just get rid of Julius Randle.
Yeah. I think it's time. I mean, Randle does a lot of we're not gonna deny it here. Randle is the New York Knicks' best player during the regular season, but during the playoffs, which is when it matters, Brunson takes over and Randle falls off. But I think Randle is at least important for regular season success, so I see the value there. But I think they should find him a replacement that can be good in the playoffs, because had Brunson had a genuine second running mate during that Miami series,
they could have taken Miami the distance. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, Brunson was having to carry like crazy. It was pretty sad watching. All right, so next move. How do you feel about Russell Westbrook coming back on this vet minimum looking deal? It's not a vet minimum, but it's a 2-year, $8 million deal. And after he was so good in the playoffs, this feels like a huge underpay.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they should have amped that up way more. I mean, Russ, I respect him so much, and he had a really good. People are gonna say he struggled. Yeah, he struggled a bit, but he was massive in that Clippers success that season. It's a shame.
Even if the Clippers front office thought, okay, this guy is not exactly at the peak of his career anymore, this is still a guy who averaged this season 16 points a game, 5.8 rebounds and 7.5 assists. I don't think that's worth $4 million a year. That feels more like it's worth in the 10 to 15 million
10
dollar
to
range.
15. Yeah, absolutely.
And they got him huge underpay. And I believe this is a guy that also averaged about 20 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds in the playoffs for the Clippers and played a bigger role than I think some of us thought he was up to, and showed that he still has it in his career, and he's only getting paid $4 million a year. Hey,
I'm
Mom
actually
Miller.
kind of yeah. I'm kind of surprised Russ accepted the deal so quickly. Like, why not look around? I'm pretty sure there's other teams that would love a Russell Westbrook in their team that would
Yeah,
gladly
for
pay
sure.
him more than that. Yeah,
It's incredible to me that he couldn't get more money. I said that in the video where I reviewed this. I was like, Russell Westbrook, you see the production during the regular season. You see the production even get upped in the playoffs, and the efficiency be better in the playoffs, and how he actually gave that Suns team some competition. I mean, he was being an absolute pest on Devin Booker. He was blocking Kevin Durant, and
yes, he was.
worth much more money than what he got here. But I guess the Clippers get back a good one and Russ, and you're paying $8 million for 2 years for your starting point guard. So that's just
That's a steal. Yeah,
the steal right there.
yeah.
Another underrated move I want to speak about. I don't know if you know much about KJ Martin. He's been with the Rockets, so I don't know how many people watch Rockets games, but I think he's a very underrated acquisition. This guy's only 22 years old. He averaged 12 points, 5 rebounds on 50% from the field last year, and he's going to the Clippers. Tell me if you know anything about this. What do you think?
I'll be honest with you, I haven't really heard much about him, but Houston's making moves. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, you said
The Clippers.
The Clippers. Oh, all right. Yeah.
I think it's just a good piece for depth. You get a very athletic young guy getting youth and athleticism, and it's always a good thing. Okay. We gotta address the big elephant in the room besides Fred VanVleet, because Houston's been throwing money at people these last couple of days. What do you think about the guy that was getting obviously clowned by LeBron and got clowned by Draymond too, Dylan Brooks, signing a 4-year, $80 million deal with the Rockets?
I think Russ should be getting paid that, but yeah, we definitely have some bad blood in the Bay with Dylan, but good for him, I guess. I just think that's a bit too much for him, but hey, he's a decent player.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we can't underlook the fact that he did make All-NBA, All-Defensive team this year, even though as much as I think he is a very good defensive player, this is a guy that can get into foul trouble sometimes because he gets a little bit overly aggressive. But I actually like this move a little bit for the Rockets. I think they take a little bit of like a leap of faith that Dylan will improve, because the Rockets were already a team that were a bunch of inefficient shot chucking guys, and that's kind of what Dylan Brooks is. But hopefully he's more of a vet to this team now. He'll be that defensive. I guess they're trying to build more of an identity, especially when they got Udoka now. But I think $20 million a year for Dylan Brooks, who just came off his worst season, and his struggles have been shown even more this season with how much noise he was making and everything he was saying. I think it's a huge overpay, but I guess Houston had money to spend, and they thought this was the best guy they could spend it on, besides Fred.
Yeah.
So obviously Houston has done all the crazy moves. I want to also speak on the Fred VanVleet trade real quick.
That was a good pickup. Really good pickup.
Oh, before we get to Fred VanVleet, I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this, but what do you think about LaMelo Ball signing this huge contract?
I think it does good for Charlotte. I mean, it builds their future. I mean, LaMelo's he hasn't played much over the past couple of seasons, but we know how talented that kid is, and he could definitely perhaps take Charlotte to a playoff run. I mean, who knows? I like it.
I'm fine with it. Michael Jordan and his executives make some questionable moves at times, and I think that this is an overpay. As much as he is a guy that, if I'm not mistaken, averaged about 20 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds so far in his career. He's been very good in putting up production and obviously being a very good player and being that lead guard for this team, but they're overpaying to keep a player who has yet to really accomplish anything besides personal success. They haven't even been able to make the play-in, if I'm not mistaken. They haven't even made the play-in yet.
think they lost in the play-in a couple years ago, but yeah, they didn't even get past the play-in.
Yeah, with the LaMelo era, they haven't made the play-in yet, and they're signing this guy to. Can you do the math for me? Is it
Yeah, of
260?
course. 5 260. That's gonna be 114, I believe. Yeah.
So how much a year is he making?
I think what was it? 100. Oh my God, no, 112 million per year. Yeah, 112. 112. 112 million per year. Yeah.
You sure for it's a 5-year, $60 million, 260 million?
Oh shit, I'm tripping.
Yeah,
I mean, it's 40.
it's like 50 million.
40. Yeah.
That's like 50 million a year.
52 million, right?
That's a lot of money.
52 million.
52 million a year
52 million.
for a point guard who's been getting injured pretty recently and hasn't had any actual team success with the team yet. But I'm not gonna judge. I'm glad LaMelo got his money. He definitely has a lot of potential. I hope this team now, they got Brandon Miller. They're gonna bring back Miles Bridges on that incredibly small contract. Will actually make a run or something. How do you feel? I thought this a very interesting trade. The Knicks sent Obi Toppin, who played a important role in the playoffs. I believe he was either starting or backup power forward, but he did get minutes, and he's shows a lot of promise. They sent him to the Pacers for some reason, just for 2 second-round picks.
Yeah, I don't like that for New York. I mean, didn't really get much back for Toppin. I mean, I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like it.
And like, I don't know who the Knicks starting power forward was last season, but I'm sure Obi Toppin might have been no, it was Julius Randle.
Yeah, it was Julius Randle.
Yeah, Obi Toppin played backup power forward, but he played a good amount of minutes in the playoffs, and I don't understand. They used a pretty, if I'm not mistaken, when Obi Toppin was drafted, he was the number 8 pick. They got good value out of that pick, but I don't know why they're sending him.
2 second-round picks. It's not even for a first-round pick.
But I think he might start on the Pacers now. I mean, I don't know what the Pacers starting power forward was last season, but it looks like he might be in the works of starting for the Pacers. I think the Pacers should start him.
Perhaps, yeah.
Take the Pacers starting lineup real quick. So apparently I think Obi Toppin will be the starting power forward this season. Their depth chart looks like Jarris Walker, Obi Toppin, Aaron Nesmith, Jordan Noor, and Jalen Smith. Yeah, I think Obi Toppin might be the starting power forward, which would be good for them. I like what the Pacers have done this offseason too. I think they've gotten some quite interesting acquisitions. They drafted Jarris Walker, got Obi Toppin. Still have Tyrese Halliburton now on that re-signed contract. They have T.J. McConnell, who's a very scrappy defensive guard. They've brought in Bruce Brown, championship experience, very good spark off the bench, who will probably start for them at that 3 spot. Still have Andrew Nembhard. You got Benedict Mathurin coming off a very good rookie season. I don't hear a lot of people talking about that young Pacers squad. Do you have any thoughts on that Pacers team right now?
What did they finish? 12th in the 11th in the East.
I can give it to you right now. Pacers finished 11th in the East.
11th, okay. I mean, yeah, they missed the play-in by a couple. They won like 10 more games, they would have easily made it. But Halliburton, I mean, it's through Halliburton. If they can just contribute around Halliburton, I can see them making the play-in. I like it.
I like this young squad a lot. Yeah, I like Tyrese Halliburton. I think this team does go as far as he distributes the ball and does what he does, because he is the reason, if any reason, for this team to mesh well together. He is the reason. He is probably the next Chris Paul. I hope he's actually better, because I do hope the best for players these days. But he is showing a lot of flashes about being a modern Chris Paul. Just a way better three-point shooter. Even though he's got that weird jumper, but it's water. It's cash. So let me go look at the next couple trades and see anything else interesting has happened. How do you this is a funny one. I went on some podcasts here and spoke about it. Obviously, with the 76ers not being that good lately, they're probably having the worst free agency possible. How do you feel about Patrick Beverley going there for 1 year?
Honestly, I love it. I just think he's the perfect fit for like a rowdy like Philly fan. I could just see him like getting the crowd hype and stuff. I could see a lot of energy in that Philadelphia 76ers team, honestly. I love it.
I think it would have been fun if James Harden would have stayed to see the reuniting with Patrick Beverley.
Houston Rocket teammate, yeah.
Got DeAnthony Melton still. Like they have good defensive guards. I don't know why they want to blow it up. They could run it back, but James Harden, just like Kyrie, is another diva. Wants to leave. Nobody
Yes.
get at me. I said what I said. James Harden and Kyrie are divas. But I love them. They're both very talented players. Can't deny that. But it is what it is. They choose to go and be journeymen. I don't even know where James Harden's gonna go now. Guess we'll have to see. Next trade, besides Pat Bev, Brook Lopez goes back to the Bucks. How do you feel about that one? I know. I've seen a couple of Warriors fans say they would have liked Brook Lopez on this team as a good fit.
I'm one of those fans. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, we really wanted Brook. Good for him. He gets to stay on a championship caliber team like Milwaukee. Watch out for Milwaukee next season.
Yeah, I definitely hope that Milwaukee does have a comeback year. As a Warriors fan, speaking for you, I think Porzingis and Brook Lopez would have been the ideal 5-man to pick up in free agency. For some reason, Boston, who already had enough, decided to take him.
Don't get me started with Boston.
And of course, Washington's stupid front office took that deal because they don't even know how to make a trade anymore.
Yeah.
And yeah, you lose Brook Lopez to go back to Milwaukee for 2 years on a solid contract. $24 million a year is definitely
it's a good contract. That's a good contract. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously he's getting older, so just in case he's on the decline, it's only a 2-year contract. How do you feel about this one? I did not expect this to happen. I thought
I thought he was gone.
They benched this guy towards the end of their last playoff series against the Nuggets. He was having the biggest downs. He was arguably the worst player on this team. And
terrible.
We saw all the memes post game about D'Angelo Russell hitting shots and
after the game.
Post game.
Yeah.
We saw all of that. So after all the memes, I even saw a bunch of memes about it was like the NBA Finals and D'Angelo Russell was still shooting around post game.
Have you ever seen that RDC World D'Angelo Russell video? Oh my god, it's hilarious. You should see it. So basically, D'Lo's shooting after the game, and then LeBron, who's having a press conference in the locker room, goes to the court and he drags his ass back into the locker room.
Yeah, he's like, hold on, I was shooting around. Man, I do like D'Lo though. D'Lo, when he got to the Lakers, I thought he was balling in the regular season. This guy had a chip on his shoulder. As much as he was solid in Minnesota, it just felt like he was a better fit on the Lakers, and he was trying to put more emphasis into playing better on the Lakers. I think that really showed during the regular season. Coming to the playoffs, he did have a couple of very good games, but once that series against the Nuggets hit, it kind of just
brutal
fell apart.
I was really happy when
Keep talking. I'm sorry.
Of course, thank you. I was really happy when the Lakers picked up D'Lo. I mean, it's a little some nostalgia. I mean, that's the team that drafted him. I liked it, but I felt bad for him.
Right, yeah, and he never really recovered during that Nuggets series. Like after bad game after bad game, they started him. I'm pretty sure they started him like twice, even after he had a bad game. But then once either that third or second game hit, they decided, he probably wasn't going to heat up at all this series, and they benched him. Yeah. I don't remember. Did they bench him for Schroeder? Was it?
I believe it was Schroeder, yeah.
They benched him for Schroeder, and they also benched Vanderbilt for Rui. They decided to start Rui, which I believe Rui deserved it. Vanderbilt has a lot of offensive game to work on.
Yes, he does.
So I do like this for the Lakers, though. This isn't really a huge overpay. I thought for some reason D'Lo would have gotten more money from some team because, D'Lo is still a very good player. But 2 years, $37 million, that's about in the $18 million a year range, and I like this. The Lakers this year actually went for retaining and keeping depth more than getting star players, and LeBron James finally let Rob Pelinka do his job for once.
And look how good that Lakers unit ended up being.
Yeah, we know Le GM gets active, but sometimes Le GM likes to just trade for star players and things don't work out. Like Russ did not work out.
But and it wasn't even a Russ issue. Yeah, it was just a fit. Yeah.
Yeah, Rob Pelinka's been cooking. I mean, they got Gabe Vincent now. I love that for the Lakers. Got a dog. But yeah, you keep D'Lo. They've kept Rui. They've kept Austin Reeves, who I'm surprised they kept all the guys. All of these guys. All they've had to let go of is Mobamba
With Shooter
and
and
Schroeder.
Shooter.
Which
Yeah.
Schroeder was a key piece, but I feel like Gabe Vincent at this point in his career is a better version and offers the same as Schroeder.
Definitely scoring wise, maybe defense a little bit of a liability, but yeah, I like it.
Gabe is still a good defender. I don't know if he'll be as good as Schroeder. Schroeder was a pest at times in that playoff series. His defense is truly underrated. I don't hear a lot about it, but I think Gabe is a much better shooter than Schroeder.
Yeah.
Gabe was starting on that finals playoffs team for the Heat, so
That
and now he's
one,
gonna
the
be a
only thing
backup. So
just Gabe killed me with Aaron Gordon posting him up for that finals. That was so bad.
yeah, I mean, yeah, Aaron Gordon was cooking him, and he was cooking Caleb Martin.
Yeah.
Interesting move I want to talk about. Haven't heard much about this because obviously the Miami Heat front office has been in shambles. They've let go of almost every key piece of that finals run, and they're still. I think they might be on a 72-hour phone call with the Blazers because no trade has happened yet. But I like this move for them. They lost Cody Zeller. Obviously, I forgot where Cody Zeller even signed. Cody Zeller was decent for them. I like who they get as a backup center behind Bam and Thomas Bryant. 2 years, $5.4 million. Great deal. This guy was on the Lakers before he got traded to the Nuggets and won the chip with absolutely no minutes. When he was in the Lakers, when Anthony Davis would get injured, Thomas Bryant did get good minutes. This guy was a very good rebounder. I believe he could shoot too. He's a very good energy guy. He can get you a double-double if he plays full minutes. But his defense is liability.
Yeah. He's young. How young is he? Like 24?
Yeah, he's very young. I'll check right now.
Thomas, I'll do it. Thomas, he's about to turn 26. He's 25.
Yeah, he's very young. And this is a guy who came off a season with. I want to look more at his Lakers stats because Denver kind of messed up his stats for the year because he obviously didn't play much. He only played about 11 minutes with Denver. He played 21 with the Lakers, and in those 21 minutes and 41 games of the Lakers, he averaged 12 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 0.6 blocks. And I like this a lot. As a backup big, he did this, and when Anthony Davis was injured, he did this. And at times, he did have very good games with AD being out the lineup. So I like this for the Heat. I think this is a very underrated move. He's an upgrade over Cody Zeller, in my opinion. I've been hearing a good amount from Sacramento Kings fans about them signing this EuroLeague MVP guy. I don't know if you know anything about that. Tell me what you think.
I do actually. My one of my friends, coworkers, his name's Bob. You might have heard of him. He has this nickname Ox. He goes by Ox, and he likes it. I believe that guy was the European champion in the EuroLeague, and they had the rights to him, but he just never played for Sacramento, and he's really happy for him to come on the Kings and play this coming season.
Yeah, for sure. I think too, the EuroLeague is one of the best leagues in the world. It's probably a top 3 league. It's pretty much up there. I mean, I'm sure Luka Doncic came from there. Jokic came from there. A lot of the best superstars from foreign countries came from the EuroLeague, and they're getting a 6'9" guy who was the MVP for 3 years, $20 million, good contract. I don't know as far as skill set, how he plays, how good is he, but I'm sure if you're the EuroLeague MVP, you're a baller. So
yes.
And he's an elite shooting stretch four man. So I think good acquisition. This is another underrated acquisition. I think the obviously the Lakers lost Mo Bamba, young, energetic, big guy who can block shots. They replaced him with another young, energetic big man who is actually gotten more attention for the foul trouble he's gotten when he's on there, but he is lengthy. He's energetic. I've seen him block the hell out of a couple shots. They get Jackson Hayes on a 2-year deal. What do you think?
Nice. It's a good it's a nice switch. You go from Obama to Jackson Hayes. I think he fits in the Lakers system pretty well. That bench.
Yeah, obviously, you're not going to need a guy who's going to play a lot of minutes. When Anthony Davis is healthy, Anthony Davis will be on the floor for most of the game, believe me. But when he's injured, you're going to need a decent backup center to hold it up. And I think Jackson Hayes could do a decent job. Mind he doesn't get any foul trouble. All right. This is another interesting deal. I didn't expect this one. I obviously knew Max Strus was probably going to get more money this offseason, and he signs a 4-year, $63 million deal with the Cavaliers. What do you think? What's your thoughts?
So that's about what, 16 million per year, just a little bit under 16 million. I think that might be. I don't know. I did not expect Max Strus to get signed, if I'm being honest, especially how poor he played in that finals. But obviously, the Cavs took recognition in how good Strus was the regular season and even part of the playoffs up until the finals. Particularly, I don't like the signing, but it could work, I suppose, in Cleveland.
Yeah, for sure. I think Cleveland has a lot of pieces. I believe you're paying this guy a pretty good amount of money, so I'm sure Strus is going to be coming off the bench. You can't start him over Donovan Mitchell, and I'm sure they would rather keep Isaac Okoro in that small forward spot. I mean, they could swap him, but I think that what's it called, after the Cavaliers brought back Karis LeVert too, though he'll probably be coming off the bench with Karis LeVert at that shooting guard spot, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
I don't know what the Cavaliers depth chart looks like. I gotta look at the Cleveland Cavaliers depth chart, but they have gotten a couple of assets. They also got a very underrated player, very solid role player in Georges Niang.
I'm not sure what the Cavs lack right now, honestly. They just played terrible against New York. I mean, what do you think?
I'm not the biggest Cavs fan, but I heard that one of the things they were trying to address this offseason was getting wings that can shoot and play solid D. Wings, so more like 3-and-D wings is what they were looking for. And they got Strus, who's a very good 3-and-D wing. And they got Georges Niang, who's also a 3-and-D wing. I'm looking at the depth chart right now. I like this depth chart. So they got Darius Garland at the 1. They got Donovan Mitchell at the 2. Oh, wait, this depth chart is a little bit... Okay. So this
outdated.
No, it's not outdated. Okay, so this is what the starting lineup looks like on ESPN's Cavaliers depth chart. Garland at the 1, Mitchell at the 2, Strus at the 3, Evan Mobley at the 4, and Allen at the 5.
Now I'm not sure how much. Yeah, I'm not sure how much Max played the forward position, but I guess
he's playing the 3 here. They have him at the 3 on this depth chart. My thing is, Isaac Okoro started last season, and he's much better defensively than Strus is, but I think they're gonna probably start Strus. I mean, Strus is a much better shooter, better shot creator than Okoro. Can play good defense, not as good as Okoro, but I think they'd rather have some more offensive firepower in that lineup while not sacrificing too much defense, and they do that with Strus. I like their bench though. Their bench looks good. Obviously, Karis LeVert was like basically their 6th man last year. They obviously have him off the bench. They got Ricky Rubio coming off the bench. They got Isaac Okoro now off the bench, Georges Niang and Damian Jones at center. I like their bench, to be honest. And they got Danny Green. I forgot they have Danny Green.
Danny Green.
All right, so aside from that one, I haven't heard too many people either speak about this one. Desmond Bane, obviously huge. One of the most elite shooters in today's game.
And defenders,
yeah, good defender too. They call him T-Rex arms too. He signs a 5-year, $207 million extension. Let me know your thoughts. Is overpay, underpay, worth the value?
I think it's perfect, honestly. I don't really like Memphis. We also have bad blood with Memphis, but that's been second best player on Memphis. I mean, that's great. Yeah.
I think this is an interesting deal. I've heard a lot about Desmond Bane is a very good player, but he hasn't been in the league for long, and 2, he is getting paid more than the best player on this team.
True.
$40 million a year. Okay.
He's a bit more reliable than Ja. You think about it. Yeah, that's probably why Ja didn't get paid that much.
I mean, yeah, you don't have to deal with the off-the-court issues. Desmond Bane is much more not about pulling out the toy guns, whatever.
He's a good citizen.
He's a good citizen. He's for the people. He's not a gangbanger. But $40 million a year I think is a huge overpay. But this guy is going to be great. Paying $40 million a year for a second option is crazy, but he is more consistent than Ja. He is going to be playing more regular seasons than Ja. He does stretch the floor, and I think he's that perfect second option once Ja hits its prime. It feels like he could be the next Klay Thompson, but more dynamic.
All I gotta say is that contract is better than Jordan Poole.
I gotta agree with that one. But we're gonna see, man. Jordan Poole was about to average probably 35 on the Wizards, so
Yeah, with 40 shot attempts.
him and Kyle Kuzma, the new light skin duo, are gonna bring all the baddies. On to the next deal. We spoke about the Pacers and Halliburton for sure. This is a weird one. Derrick Rose is going on a 2-year deal with the Grizzlies.
Man, I love D Rose, but I don't know, man. I don't think he's got it anymore. I just like that he's on a good team, but I don't think it's gonna equate to much, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, like, no offense. I like D Rose too, and the last time he was actually genuinely getting minutes on the Knicks, which I don't know why the Knicks stopped giving him minutes. This guy was a very solid six man. I believe he was in the 6-man race not too long ago when he was on the Knicks coming off the bench. He was pretty productive there. But I don't know why the Grizzlies bring him in on a 2-year deal. This is a team that's going to contend. Maybe they're bringing him in for those 25 games that Jaw's going to be gone just in case Smart gets injured or something. But this feels like a move that they're bringing D Rose in for tickets. No,
yes.
This feels like a ticket move because I don't think D Rose is genuinely going to get a lot of minutes on this team.
Maybe get him a ring. I mean, I don't think Memphis is going to win a ring, but they could finish top 5 in the West, honestly.
I don't think they're gonna get a ring either. But I think D Rose just was the best offer D Rose got, which isn't really saying a lot. And he's going to Memphis. Next one, okay. What shape is that? Okay, I like this deal for the Raptors. You lose Fred VanVleet. You've barely done anything in free agency. You're basically the Blazers. You bring back one of your key players on a overpaid contract, in my opinion. Jeremy Grant came back on that overpaid contract. I don't even want to talk about it. They got to trade him now because Damian wants out. But the Raptors brought back Jakob Poeltl on that 4-year, $80 million deal, which is $20 million a year for a not-average center, a slightly above average. And you lose Fred VanVleet and you bring in Schroeder on a 2-year, $26 million. What do you think is going on with the Raptors?
Yeah, they're rebuilding, losing Fred VanVleet. They could still go for another guard, I believe, but I guess it's a decent pickup.
I mean, this is a. I mean, I think I've been hearing from Raptors. Obviously, I'm not an insider or nothing, but I've been hearing a thing about Scotty Barnes might be the starting point guard for this team. They might experiment with him at point guard.
That could work. I could see that.
I mean, Scotty played point guard at FSU, and he's like, what? How tall is Scotty? 6'7", 6'9"?
6'8", 6'7", 6'8", yeah.
Yeah, so they could experiment on doing that, and Schroeder comes off the bench as that 6-man.
Some Ben Simmons, yeah. I see that.
Oh yeah.
No, let's not say this Ben Simmons. I mean, like the good Ben Simmons.
Yeah, he could be. That very. I mean, that brings up some interesting things. I mean, maybe the Raptors go out and trade for Ben.
Oh wow!
They give out one third-round pick. I think that's Ben Simmons' worth right now is a 1 3rd-round pick, even though that doesn't exist.
Yeah,
but
joined the team that beat him in 7 games 4 years ago.
Yep. But yeah, the Raptors, I don't know what their path is going on right now. I mean, they got Grady Dick, so I guess it's been the best thing they've done. I think Grady Dick's going to be a stud. Very tall guy, good wing.
He's got some swag to him.
yeah, he's got some swag. He's not your normal white boy. But yeah, Grady Dick is very talented. I think he's 6'7", wing, can play defense, can shoot the living hell out of that ball. I've been watching him since high school. Just very good player. I like what they did with getting him. I wonder what his role will be on that team. But the Raptors just brought back Poeltl, lost Fred. There was no way they were going to keep Fred. I mean, you got to pay Fred damn near $50 million a year to keep Fred.
Yeah. You got to keep Pascal. So yeah, Fred's gone.
Mind you, Fred. Let me read you Fred's stats. I don't know what the Rockets were doing looking through his stats, but he is not worth all this money that he got. This guy averaged only 19 points a game, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. He shot 39% from the field and 34 from 3.
Yeah. Did he
Yeah,
make the All-Star? I don't think he made the All-Star game at all, did he?
no, he didn't. I believe Pascal made it over him, if anything.
Yeah, Pascal made it. Yeah. No.
Yeah, he made it the previous season where he
Yeah.
shot much. Well, he didn't shoot
More
much better
efficient.
efficiently.
A little bit more
Shot.
efficiently.
He was more efficient though, but yeah, this is a very undersized guard. And I don't know what the Rockets, doing signing him. You just drafted Amen Thompson at 4. Now Amen Thompson's going to be sitting the bench.
Yeah.
But Rockets had money to spend. They just threw it at whoever they did. They threw it at fake Drake.
Fake Drake. Yeah.
But
fake
by the way,
Drake.
did you see that funny Drake reply that Drake posted on Instagram?
Dick Grady. Oh wait.
No, not the Dick Grady one.
Oh.
The one he said to Fred VanVleet.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, that was hilarious.
The one about like, oh, thank you for your services. Good luck on the Wandong Dragons.
Yes.
And then the Houston Rockets.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Fred VanVleet replied saying, "Relax." Fred VanVleet already knows the franchise going to is like coming off the biggest joke of a season ever. So
yeah.
I mean,
Hey, we'll see what happens with Houston.
Hey man, I don't blame Fred, man. It was a business decision. He couldn't deny that money. No.
Damn.
Hey,
what will be of Houston?
It's a W for Fred. He's making all this money a year, and he's guaranteed. His season is guaranteed to end as soon as the 82nd game is done.
Where do you think Houston will end up? Honestly, in the West, because the West is stacked.
Well, I like what they got. I think they're setting. I think they could be a 41-41 team. They could be the most mid team in the West.
Wow. 41-41.
But a lot of things have to go right. This Rockets team has to win games. Like they have to, like the Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks acquisition has to live up to the contracts they sign them. It has to live up. From a depth perspective, I like what the Rockets look like now. Like this is actually looking like a deep team now. But Fred has to have a good season, like much better than this past one. Brooks has to have a comeback season. Udoka has to coach this team well, which I believe he will.
He will.
Jalen Green has to buy in. But if they do this, I think this team could be. What's the last seed for the play-in? The 10th, right?
Yeah, the 10th seed.
I think this Rockets team could either be the 9th or 10th seed.
Wow, there's a lot of good teams. I'm gonna say they finished like around the 11-12 spot, but I mean, you want to go over the teams in the West? I mean, it's
we can go over the teams in the West.
Yeah. All right, let me pull it up. If you'd like, it's your show, but I'm gonna name these West teams, and you tell me if you think they're gonna make the playoffs or not. Is that fine?
No, go ahead. We go back and forth on this. This is
all right. Let me pull up the standings real quick. Okay, where is it? Teams. All right, Denver.
Where do I think they will finish in the West?
If they'll make a top 10 seed. If they'll make the playoffs.
Yes.
They'll make the playoffs. Okay. Will Golden State make the playoffs?
Ooh, I can't count the Warriors out, man. You know I can't.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, jeez. The Mavericks. This is interesting.
Call me crazy. I think the Mavericks miss it again.
Wow. Okay. I can respect that. Minnesota. They did extend Ant. I don't know.
Ooh, Minnesota?
Yeah, Minnesota.
I'm gonna say they miss it this year.
Ooh, okay. This team I have high hopes for. OKC.
They make it.
I think they make it, yeah.
This is a team that hasn't taken any L's in free agency or the draft at all, and they were so close to making the playoffs last year. They made the play-in. So I like.
They're getting Chet homegrown, yeah.
Yep, and they're getting the rookie of the year back.
Yeah, and Shea obviously. Oh my god.
Not rookie of the year, but it's crazy to think Chet Holmgren's gonna be in that rookie race this year.
Yeah, him and Wemby. Clippers
missed it this. No, Clippers made it this past season, right?
They lost to Phoenix.
Yeah, I think the Clippers will make it.
Ooh, okay. So we got how many teams? 1, 2, 3. That's our fourth. Lakers,
Yeah.
Suns.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. The Suns. Yes. The Suns
Yeah,
will be a top 4 seed this year.
yeah. Okay, Sacramento. This is where it gets tricky.
Sacramento will make it.
Okay, Memphis.
Memphis will make it.
Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. New Orleans.
New Orleans. Ooh, that's a tough one. They've struggled to make it the last couple of years. New Orleans. I'm gonna say yeah. Get back
All
into
right.
it this year. I'm gonna say yeah.
Okay. And then you said Houston, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And no for San Antonio, right?
No.
And Portland.
Portland is tanking this year. No, they're not
and
tanking.
you
They're rebuilding already. They got the tank off.
and Utah.
Ooh, I forgot about Utah. I'm gonna say Utah makes the playoffs.
Ooh,
I don't know
you
if
mean, right?
I don't know if you've seen that roster, man. That roster looks good. The Utah Jazz look pretty good.
They got
man.
Clarkson. They got Clarkson extended, right? Yeah.
Let me give you this right now. They got Colin Sexton, they got Jordan Clarkson, they got Lauri Markkanen, they got John Collins, and they have one of the
John
best.
Collins. That's right. I forgot about John Collins.
They have one of the best rim protecting rookies coming off a great season, Walker Kessler.
Wow.
And off the
Okay,
bench
but-
now, they have Chris Dunn, underrated. They have Taylor Horton Tucker. They have Kelly Olynyk. They have the defensive stretch 4 from UCF. They drafted Taylor Hendricks.
Mhm.
This is a pretty good team. That starting lineup's pretty good, and they have a pretty solid bench too.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna say the Jazz make it.
The only issue is I gave you all 15 teams from the West, and you said yes to 11 of them. So that means one of those teams has to go in order for them to make the play-in or playoffs. So I'm gonna give you these 4 teams that are like iffy. Okay, we have OKC, Utah, Houston, and New Orleans. Who comes out? New Orleans.
I'm gonna say New Orleans is the one that might. I mean, man,
drop out of the plane.
Yeah, you Zion is still yet to Zion's out here doing porn side quests with porn stars over here and doing all this. I don't know if it's true or not, but
what about BI and CJ?
BI and CJ are a great duo, but is that enough to really, CJ's been having his struggles. BI is still very good, but BI could not carry them against the Thunder in the play-in. So I'm gonna say it all depends on Zion's health. If Zion is healthy, they will make the playoffs, but Zion's got to play like 50 games at least.
Yeah.
But that Pelicans team they're missing a couple of offense. I mean, I like them. They drafted Jordan Hawkins, but I think that Utah team is underrated. I mean, do you remember? I don't know if you remember how they started the season last year.
On fire, weren't they like a top 3 seed like the first month into the entire month
in the West at some point? Yeah, man.
They were on fire.
And I don't think with the roster they have now, I don't think that franchise's goal is to tank this year. I think they're actually trying to make the playoffs. So
yes. And personally, you might not agree with me. I think Dallas is making the playoffs. They got to make the playoffs. I mean, Luka missing the playoffs for the 2nd straight year. That's tough.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. I feel like they're running. We've seen the sample size between him and Kyrie. I think it can get better, but as far as defensive issues, I don't think they've addressed any of that. This is gonna call me crazy because Luka and Kyrie are way more talented than any of the running mates Damian Lillard has. But this feels like the Damian Lillard and CJ era where it's just 2 offensively great guys, no defense.
That's true.
Except Luka and Kyrie are arguably better than that CJ Damian Lillard duo. Well, not arguably. I think they are a better duo.
Yeah,
but
I could go with that. Yeah.
And then the rest of that starting lineup is just okay. It's nothing crazy. I mean, who are you starting at center? Dwight Powell.
I guess so.
You're probably gonna lose Christian Wood in free agency, so you lose some offense off the bench. You have Tim Hardaway Jr., who's been the same player for the last couple seasons. It's the roster. You're really depending a lot on what Luka and Kyrie will give you. I like Jaden Hardy's upside, but he's also another offensive player. There's just zero defense on that team. I hope they give Derek Lively minutes. That's the only bright spot I see. Derek Lively.
Mm-hmm. Damn. We'll see. This
All right,
is going to be a very interesting regular season. I love
you asked me
especially
what
the
teams I
West.
think are going to make the playoffs in the West. What teams do you think are going to make the playoffs in the West?
Thank you. Okay, let's do this. Let me pull this up again. All right. So we got to
I'm pretty sure
obviously
if you
start
want,
off
you
with.
can share your screen. I'm pretty sure. Well,
Oh, really? Okay.
I think you might be able to, yeah.
Let me check because for some reason NBA.com like took off their standings part. Let me see. All right, I got teams right here. Okay, so you want to share? You said right?
Yeah, you can share your screen.
Okay, percent. Share screen. Share screen. Okay. Window. Oh, I see. I got it. Sorry. Hold up. Let me add the tab to this. All right, I got it. There we go. Okay, percent, share screen. There we go. Okay. So for the West, we got
Okay.
Denver. It's a lock.
All right.
We got Golden State, Dallas, the Clippers, the Lakers. Or do you want me to go in order? Like what it'll be like 1 through 10? Like
Well, if you have the order, then go for it, Sebastian.
okay. Denver, Phoenix, Memphis, Golden State,
Lakers at 5?
Kings,
Okay. Wow.
Lakers,
Wow.
Thunder,
Thunder at what? 8?
7. 7.
Okay. Okay.
And then I'm going to go Clippers at 8,
Wow.
Mavericks at 9, and Pelicans at 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have Minnesota and the Utah missing it.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, I think anything could happen. It comes down to a lot. Those last couple games are always fun to watch during the season because everybody's always like packed, same record, fighting for that 7 through 10 spot. So it'll be interesting. But hey, don't sleep on the Utah Jazz, man. I might become a Utah Jazz fan. I like the direction of the team.
That's nice. The entire Pacific Division making it for the second straight year is going to be difficult, though. If you see any one of those teams missing it, do you think it's the Clippers?
I mean, there's a chance, you know. PG, health issues, obviously this past season. Kawhi, he has load management syndrome. So.
And I'm sold with Sacramento. I'm sold. I think they're a great team.
Yeah. Sacramento has no, bro. Both of their stars have no problem staying healthy in the regular season. Both of their stars are durable. We saw Sabonis play. What did Sabonis play? Like 70 games through that wrist injury and play the whole playoffs through a broken hand or whatever.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Sabonis is gonna get his hand. Yeah, this guy played. Bro, Sabonis plays 79 games in the regular season.
Wow.
And Fox, I'm sure Fox played 60, 70 as well. Like when you have two stars that can play, yeah, Fox played 73 games. So both of your stars are consistently playing almost every night, and they're both able to play through injuries during the playoffs. I think the Kings will be up there in the standings and make the playoffs. For the Clippers, yeah, there's a chance the Clippers miss it. I mean, Paul George gets injured at some point. Kawhi is on load management, and Russ is gonna just be left to carry this Clippers team. As much as it's a deep team, Russ is gonna be the lone star in most of the games.
HR, some words of wisdom. You know who Chilltown is, right? He's like the guy in Player's Choice. This is what he always says. He always preaches, the greatest ability is availability. And with Sacramento, you're getting that, and they're gonna be top 5 for some time to come, I believe.
Yeah, with Los Angeles, it's just. I mean, with the Clippers, not the Lakers. With the Clippers, yeah, availability is definitely their least ability.
Yes.
I mean, the only durable guy they have on that team is probably Nicholas Batum and Russell Westbrook. Yes. And Russell Westbrook is the only actual guy that matters to stay healthy on that team. the only major guy that can stay healthy on that team. Obviously, we'd love for PG and Kawhi to be able to play 70 games a season, but at this point in the career, it's very unlikely. I mean,
Would you like to go over the East?
yeah, we can go over the East. I think the East is just as interesting as the West.
All right, let's see. I feel like the East, you can kind of tell what's going to happen more than the West. As a matter of fact, before the regular season started, I listed the 10 teams that would make the play-in playoffs, and every single one of them made it, just like in a different order. And like I made this, a month before the regular season started. Since I heard
Right.
Donovan Mitchell going to the Cavs, I listed the 10 East teams that would make the play-in/playoffs, and all 10 of them made it. Because, I mean, Washington, Orlando, Charlotte, Indy, Detroit, and Chicago, they're all like borderline teams that we kind of know they're not really going to make the playoffs.
So I want
So
you to
you
give
wanna
me. I want you to give me your idea of who you think in the East is gonna make the playoffs, and then I'll make an idea. I'll give you mine.
Okay, all right. 1, Boston. 2, Milwaukee. 3, Miami. 4, Philly. 5, Cleveland. 6, New York. 7. This is where it gets interesting. 7, Washington.
Wow. Washington, wow.
Yeah, let's get it. 8, Atlanta. 9, Brooklyn.
Having Washington
10.
there and no Indiana is crazy.
I got Indiana at 10.
Okay. So, am I mistaken? We're missing the. You said the Cavaliers, right?
I said Cleveland at 5, yes.
Did you say the Hawks too, right?
Yes, I said the Hawks at 8.
So you're missing the Bulls.
Yeah, I got the Bulls missing it.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't think Bull fans are gonna be happy, but they know they're kind of middle right there. I mean, you're still running it back with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, and Bonzo is out. I mean, it's tough, man. I don't know. They're in a weird spot over there, but wow, you got Washington making the playoffs.
Yeah. Why not? I just got a feeling about it.
You think the light skin duo is gonna take them there?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Actually, wait. They did get Tyus Jones, right?
Yeah, they do got Tyus Jones. Actually, whoa, that's low key a nice lineup. Whoa, you got Tyus Jones at point guard, Jordan Poole at shooting guard, Kuzma at power forward, small forwards like Denny Avdia, and your center is. I'm not gonna lie, that's not a bad lineup, but come on, it's probably gonna be like.
To think this through.
They're probably gonna be like the Houston Rockets of the East.
Maybe.
Kyle Kuzma and JP going back and forth.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have the Wizards making it. I don't know about that one. That's like an AAU team.
Yeah. You're right. You might be right. I'm just gonna type this in on the chat. My teams. So go ahead with your teams.
Okay, so like teams that I have making it. This is no order. I'm gonna give it to you right now. I got Boston making it. I got Brooklyn making it. I got New York making it. I got Milwaukee making it.
Ooh, all right.
I got Cleveland making it. Got Miami making it. Atlanta will pull through. I'm gonna say Toronto pulls through too. Philadelphia will pull through. You still got Embiid. And that last spot is a toss-up, but I'm gonna say Indiana.
Yeah. All right, I'm about to send this right now.
So I believe that leaves out Washington, that leaves out Orlando, that leaves out Charlotte. Yeah. That leaves out Detroit.
So this is the list I believe I said. Okay. I'm sending right now. Where is it? Oh god. Sorry.
You're good.
Here we go. Yeah. think I can say that. You think I'm missing anyone besides Chicago and Toronto?
What in your playoffs? You said Indiana, right?
Yeah, at 10.
No, you have Orlando at. Oh no, Orlando's at 9. Wait. I feel like you missed. Yeah, I think you got to give Chicago some consideration.
Yeah, it's either between Chicago and Toronto, but I got a feeling that Chicago and Toronto are not going to do like well next year. I mean, wasn't Lonzo Ball out all of next season? I think that's what I heard. Right?
Yeah, but he was out last season too, and they made a play-in at least. I mean, they were close to taking out Miami.
You're right. They haven't really moved on from DeMar and Zach yet.
Yeah, I think they have a feeling that I feel like they're still a little bit attached to that first early success they had when they first brought in DeMar, Zach, and Lonzo, and they were first seed in the East. And I feel like they keep running it back because they think that with obviously preparation and everything going right, they can be back in that spot. And they got Caruso still.
That's true. They do have Caruso.
They're not a bad defensive team. They got Vucevic. They just they have to figure a couple of things out.
Yeah,
but I think
maybe trade the Wizards in Orlando for Chicago and Toronto, but that's just a feeling. I'm gonna have those 10 make it.
I don't know, Sebastian. I think the Nets should be in there.
Oh, that's right, Brooklyn. I don't know.
I forgot Brooklyn, man.
I'm not so. No, I remember Brooklyn. I'm not sold on Brooklyn. I mean, they got swept by Philly, and not only that, but we're forgetting that KD was there for like half the season, and was like a really big reason why they ended up making the playoffs.
Well, that is true, but I think like defensively and offensively, this team's not that bad. You got Claxton, you got McHale, you got Cameron Johnson, you got Spencer Dinwiddie. Like, they're a playing team.
I thought they were good, honestly, but I mean, they didn't get a single game from Philly, not one.
Yeah, that's true. And Joel Embiid and Harden were playing pretty mid, and they couldn't still snag a game. But I think Brooklyn will make it. I think Brooklyn will make it at that 8 spot if they have to. This is still a good team. You can't look at that team and say, okay, out. You know, they're not making the play-in at least. I think at worst they're a play-in team.
Yeah.
I mean, dang, I think they're better than Orlando.
Yeah, I've heard great things about Orlando. They think Orlando's going to come through. At least most of my coworkers think so.
But offensively, I like the Pacers a lot more than the Nets right now. I'm just high on the Pacers, like working out.
Oh, yeah. That's why I have the Pacers making a 10th. I think they will definitely make the play-in. And Detroit, I don't see good. I don't see anything good from Detroit. Except maybe Wiseman. Maybe Wiseman's going to come through.
Detroit has a lot of good players, but it stands a lot on if Cade Cunningham can stay healthy. Think about it. Cade Cunningham has a lot of hype, but we haven't seen much of him. We've seen a couple of them.
No.
But Detroit has a good amount of talented players. They just gotta piece it together. But I like your order except for Orlando. I don't think Orlando's ready to take that leap yet, but
that's fair. Well, HR. How long do we have left?
How long do we have left? I honestly don't know how long we've been going. I gotta check. This has felt pretty smooth.
Yeah, we've gone for an hour 13 actually.
Wow, yeah, we've been going for a while. I was gonna say, yeah, we've been going for a while. We're just reviewing free agency, reviewing what we think about. Obviously, our standings can change because I feel like
people
there's still a couple of players left in free agency as a couple of key players that have requested a trade. Our orders can change, but when anybody sees this video, let me know what you guys think will be your standings, who will make the playoffs this season. There will always be one surprise team that won't make it. Obviously, for the West this year, it was probably the Thunder. Nobody expected the Thunder to be in that race.
Yes. Oh.
So,
HR, thank you, man. Thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure.
Of course, Sebastian, no problem. You know, you're free to come on here. I'll eventually, I'm thinking about starting a podcast. I'll have an episode for Sebastian, introduce him to everyone when I get more viewers and have more viewers. But thank you, everybody who came on to watch this.
Thank you, guys.
And watch us review a free agency. Hopefully, more big moves will come out because free agencies kind of become stale. Yeah. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you all for watching. And please make sure to like, subscribe, stay on the radar for all things basketball.